the kingdom that only appears in silence. There are places in this world that cannot be found on any map, not because they are hidden behind mountains or guarded by magic, but because they only reveal themselves when the noise inside you finally fades. Most people search for it their whole lives without even knowing what they are looking for, but a very few find it without trying. Girl named Liora had never heard of such a place. She lived in a quiet village surrounded by soft hills and long fields that moved like waves whenever the wind passed through them. Her life was simple, her days predictable, her nights often restless, because even when everything around her was calm, her mind was not. Thought followed her everywhere. Small worries, unfinished ideas, questions without answers, they filled her evenings and made sleep feel distant, like something just out of reach. Night, when the sky was unusually clear and the stars felt closer than ever, Liora stepped outside, unable to rest. The air was cool, gentle against her skin, and the world around her seemed quieter than usual, as if something had began to walk without a destination, her feet moving slowly across the soft grass, her thoughts still following her like shadows. Why can't I feel at peace? She whispered softly. There was no answer, only silence, but this silence felt different. It was not empty, it was deep, like it was listening. She continued walking until the village lights faded behind her and the hills opened into a white space she had never noticed before. At the center of it stood something in faint outline of gates, tall and elegant, made of something that looked like light rather than stone. They shimmered softly, not fully solid, not fully invisible. Liora stopped, her breath slowed. She was not afraid, only still. More she stood there, the more the gates became visible, as if her presence was slowly bringing them into existence. And then she noticed something even strange. Thoughts had gone quiet, not forced, not controlled, just gone. For the first time in a long while, there was nothing rushing through her mind. Questions, no worries, no noise, only awareness. And as that silence deepened, the gates opened without sound, without movement. They simply shifted, as if they had been waiting for this exact moment. Liora stepped forward. The moment she crossed the threshold, the world changed, not suddenly, not dramatically, but gently, like a dream forming around her. The air glowed softly. The ground beneath her feet shimmered like it was made of tiny lights, and the sky above was filled with slow-moving stars that felt close enough to touch. She had entered a kingdom, but it did not feel like a place. It felt like a state. Everything there moved slowly, peaceably. Trees stood tall, their leaves glowing faintly as they whispered to each other in soft tones that sounded like distant lullabies. Rivers float without sound, their water reflecting not the sky but something deeper, something within. There were no people, and yet she did not feel alone. As she walked further into the kingdom, she noticed that every step she took felt lighter, not just physically, but inside, as if something she had been carrying for a long time was slowly reached a wide open space where a single tree stood at the branches stretched far above her, covered in glowing petals that drifted down slowly, like falling. Like Liora sat beneath it, not because she was tired, but because it felt right. Past, though she could not tell how much. In that place, time did not move the same way, did not rush it, did not push it, simply exist. Then she felt Aita presence, not sin, not erpat. Non you haberai, The words did not come as sound, they appeared within her like a quiet understanding. Leah did not respond immediately. Simply breathed slowly, allowing the moment to settle. Where am I? She finally asked. The answer came gently, where silence becomes everything. She closed her eyes. The words felt true in a way she could not explain. Why? Can I see this place? She asked. Because you are not trying to. The answer was simple, yet it shifted something deep within her. All her life, she had been searching for peace, chasing it, thinking it was something she had to find or create. But here she had not searched, she had only stopped thinking, stopped chasing, stopped holding on, and in that stopping something had appeared. Kingdom does not belong to the world. The presence continued. It appears. When the noise leaves, Liora felt a warmth spread through her chest. Soft, steady, comforting. Will it stay? She asked. There was a pause, not empty but full, and then it was never gonna. Her breath slowed even more. The meaning settled inside her gently. This place was not separate from her. It was not hidden somewhere far away, waiting to be discovered. It had always been there, covered by the constant movement of her thoughts. The more she sat there, the more everything around her seemed to blend into a quiet harmony. The glowing tree, the drifting petals, the endless sky, it all felt like part of the same stillness. Sand. Slowly, she understood this kingdom was not made of light or magic. It was made of absence of noise, of effort, of control, and in that absence something beautiful existed. Peace. After some time, Liora opened her eyes. The world around her remained calm, unchanged, but she knew something was different. Not in the kingdom, in her. She stood up slowly. I don't want to leave, she whispered. The presence responded softly. Then, don't leave it behind. She didn't fully understand, but she felt the truth in those words. One last look at the glowing tree, she turned and walked back toward the gates. They stood where she had first seen them sit, waiting. As she stepped through, the kingdom faded, not like something disappearing, but like something gently stepping back. And suddenly she was back in the open field, the hills, the night, the distant lights of her village. Everything the same, but not the same, because this time her mind was quiet. She walked back slowly, feeling the soft ground beneath her feet, the cool air around her, the stillness within her. Thoughts did not rush back, they waited, and in that waiting she felt something she had been searching for without knowing. Rest. She finally lay down. That night sleep came to her without effort, not because she forced it, but because she no longer needed today's past life. Continued the village, the routines, the familiar past, but something had changed forever. Liora no longer searched for peace in the outside world, because she knew where it lived. Sometimes, in the quietest moments, when she allowed herself to simply be, she could feel it again, not as a place she entered, but as something that opened softly, gently from within, far beyond what eyes could see. Kingdom remained not hid, not lost, only waiting for anyone whose heart becomes quiet enough to let it appear. And as the days turned into weeks, something even more subtle began to unfold within her. At first, it was barely noticeable, like a soft shift in the background of her awareness, but slowly it became clearer. The silence she had once only felt in that mysterious kingdom was no longer something rare. It began to appear In small moments throughout her day when she walked through the fields and felt the wind move gently around her, when she paused before speaking and noticed the space between her thoughts, when she sat alone without needing to fill the quiet with something else. It was there not as a place she had to reach, but as something that revealed itself when she stopped. She no longer wondered if the kingdom was real. She knew it was, but not in the way she had first imagined it. Was not somewhere far away waiting behind invisible gates. It was closer than that, so close it could not be seen. When she was trying to find when she allowed everything to settle lonely, when she became still one evening as the sky softened into shades of deep blue and silver, she found herself standing at the same open field where she had first seen the gates. She had not planned to come there. Her feet had simply brought her there. Felt familiar, not because the place had changed, but because she stood there quietly, her breath slow, her mind calm. There was no expectation or hope that something would appear. Presence, and for a moment nothing happened. The field remained empty, the hills silent, the night still, but instead of feeling disappointed, she simply stayed, because now she understood something she had not known before. The kingdom did not respond to desire, it responded to still. Closed her eyes gently, not to search, not to imagine, just to be, and in that simple act something shifty, not outside. Deep quiet opened within her, like a door that had always been there but never noticed. It was not dramatic, not overwhelming, just a soft expansion of awareness, and in that quiet she felt it again, the same presence, the same calm, the same endless stillness that had once surrounded her beneath the glowing tree. This time there were no gates, no visible kingdom, no glowing lights or drifting petals, and yet it felt exactly the same, stronger even, because now she knew it had never been outside her at all. Have returned. The presence came again, not from somewhere far but from within her own awareness. Leah did not open her eyes, did not need to never let, she whispered softly. A gentle warmth spread through her. If the truth of those words settled into every part of her being, the silence deepened, but it was no longer something she stepped into, it was something she rested in, like a calm ocean beneath everything else. After some time, she opened her eyes. Field was still there, the night unchanged, but now it looked different, not because anything had transformed, because she was seeing it without the noise that used to cover everything. Every detail felt clearer, every sound softer, every moment fuller. She began to walk slowly back toward her village, but this time she was not returning from somewhere. She was carrying something with her, or perhaps she was no longer carrying anything at all, and that was why she felt so light. Days turned into months, and the story of Liora quietly changed without anyone around her fully understanding. How she spoke less but felt more. She moved slower but lived deeper. She no longer rushed toward the future or held on to the past. She simply stayed with what was here, and in doing so, life itself began to feel different, not bigger, not more exciting, but more real, more peaceful. Sometimes people in the village would notice the calmness in her presence. They could not explain it, but being near her made things feel quieter somehow, as if the noise inside them softened just a little. And though she never spoke about the kingdom, something about her reminded others of it, even if they did not know what it was. One night, a young child from the village came to her unable to sleep, restless, filled with the same kind of thoughts. Liora once knew so well. The child asked softly, "How do I make my mind?" While Liora looked at them gently and moment she said nothing, not because she did not have an answer, but because she knew silence itself was the answer. She placed her hand softly over the child's and said, "You don't make it quiet, to let it become quiet." The child did not fully understand, but something in those words felt comforting, and that night, for the first time in a long while, child slept peacefully. As the years passed, Liora no longer thought about the kingdom as something separate or special, because it had become a natural part of her existence. Set was not something she visited, it was something she lived from, and far beyond the hills, beyond the village, beyond what could be seen or explained, the kingdom remained, not hidden, not distant, not waiting in some unreachable place, but always present in the quiet space between thoughts, in the stillness beneath every moment, in the gentle silence that most people pass by without note. For those who continue, search and trying, reaching it stays invisible, but for those who pause, soften, you allow everything to settle, appears not as a place but as a feeling, knowing, quiet truth that needs no words, and in that truth is no need to go anywhere, no need to become anything, no need to find what was never lost. See, one that only appears in silence was never meant to be discovered, only remembered as the decades drifted by like autumn leaves upon a still lake. Liora's physical form began to grow frail, but the kingdom within her only grew more radiant. It was no longer a place she visited or even a feeling she carried. She had become the gate itself. Her very breath seemed to pulse with the rhythm of the glowing tree, and her eyes held the depth of the silent rivers that reflected the soul of the universe. One evening, at the twilight of her long life, Liora returned to the field. The hills were bathed in a violet hue, and the stars began to pierce the veil of the sky, appearing not as distant fires, but as old friends leaning in to listen. She sat upon the soft grass, the same grass she had walked upon as a restless girl, and she felt the final remnants of the self beginning to thin, the great dissolving, the noise of the world, the distant chime of village bells, the rustle of the wind, the beating of her own heart began to pull away. But this was not the silence of an ending. It was the crescendo of a masterpiece. She realized then that the kingdom had never been made of absence. It was made of presence. The absence was only of the ego, the I that wants, the I that fears, the I that remembers. As that I finally faded into the cool night air, the gates did not just open, Tevani said. There was no longer a Liora to walk through them. There was only the light. The song of the unspoken. In that final, expansive stillness, a truth shook the foundations of her being, vibrating through the cosmos. The kingdom is not a reward for the silent. It is the fundamental fabric of existence that remains when the illusion of noise is stripped away. It is the canvas upon which the universe paints its chaotic stars. To find it is to realize you were never the painter, but the canvas itself. She saw the young child she had once comforted, now grown with children of their own. She saw the village, the hills, and the stars. She saw that every soul was a sleeping king or queen of this silent realm, wandering through the loud halls of their own minds, unaware that the throne was already theirs if they would only sit still. The final Horizon Liora closed her eyes for the last time. There was no transition, no crossing over, and no departure. She did not enter the kingdom. She expanded until she was the kingdom, the glowing tree, the silver rivers, and the whispering leaves were not symbols, they were the living, breathing reality of a universe that loves in silence. The field stood empty under the moonlight. The grass straightened where she had sat. To the world, she was gone. But in the space between the wind's breath, in the pause between the heart's beats, and in the profound, heavy quiet of a winter's night, she remained. For the kingdom does not belong to the map of the living or the dead. It belongs to the now. It is the silent roar of eternity that sings to anyone brave enough to stop listening to themselves and start listening to the nothing. And there, in that holy void, everything is found. The search ends, the noise dies, the kingdom begins, it never, ever ends. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your night. May you find deep peace and restful sleep. Wishing you the sweetest dreams. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.